Additionally, you do get new members to your team from time to time, and how good those members are, and how, like, what their starting stats are, is dictated by how well you've been doing up until that point in the Unity Cup. So ideally, you want to be, on a path to be doing really well, so that you continue getting really strong members who raise your average score rather than lowering it. And incidentally, also, this is the new, meta for this new cup, is to run, 2 speed cards, Rico, and, 3 wit cards. This is what's been called the wit meta, and it's something that was kind of controversial for use in the first cup, but that gains a lot of value, the first career, I mean, but that gains a lot of value in this career. And the reason for that has to do with, basically energy economy, and trying to maximize the number of these, spirit bursts that you can get and stuff. That, and also, the skill points that you get out of wit training end up becoming a significant source of your skill points for your runs. Because you don't end up with a lot of time to actually run races. Oh, speaking of which, I forgot to do a maiden race. I should probably do that. Alright, so that was the first kind of initial date event, which unlocked her recreation mode. And each of these is a recreation I can do with her, and each time I do one, she's going to give me energy, and stamina, and guts for my character. Now, guts is about to become a much better stat when the patch hits in 2 days, but right now, the reason it's gained some importance even before that is that your own average total stats make such a difference to your team's power, and so just having stats higher in general is very important for being able to succeed. Wait, did I seriously fail the wit training? Wow. Yeah, this run is so cooked. Now you can see what I was talking about earlier, where that didn't really give me all that much energy. So having a higher level version of the card that I'll be running with now should increase that amount pretty significantly. At the very least, by like that much, maybe. Which is still very helpful. That's like a whole wit training or two. Wow, yeah. This run is just so bad. Alright, so this is how the Unity Cup plays out. You've got the various characters that you have either brought with you as support cards or that were just kind of assigned to your team, and they fill up the roster very similarly to how you do team trials, where there's going to be 3 character slots available to be assigned for each race type, of which we've got the 5 normal types here of sprint, mile, medium, long, and dirt. Incidentally, dirt tracks are always mile tracks, but they are the dirt version of mile as opposed to the turf version of mile. And your own character is part of the roster as well. You can manually assign, like, where people go. So, for instance, if you take a bunch of skills that are really specific to, like, medium, but it auto-assigns you to long, you can forcibly move yourself into the other category. But the auto-assign does a fairly good job of making sure that, like, characters are appropriate for the places that they're going and are generally more or less the best. So it's been said that it's not really worth the time and effort to adjust these. Alright. Coughing a lot and all congested, I'm sorry. So, when it comes to this, you get to select one of 3 opponents, and generally speaking, the conventional wisdom seems to be that there's 5 of these races total, and you want to do, the top one the first 2 times, then the middle one the 3rd time, and then the top one the rest of the times. And that has to do with A, hitting specific, goals, and making sure that you are ranked up enough, but also B, managing the fact that if you do the top one every single time, there's not, like, you don't really get anything out of that until they do the 2.0 version of this much later. And also, you will end up in a position where the opponents that you're facing are like ridiculously strong and you have very little chance of victory. So doing one of your races in this lower bracket at some point when you're in a spot where you're going to have trouble, like let's say this top team were like a rank C team right now, I would probably need to choose this bottom one. So they give you a rough idea of what your chances of victory are. Overall, we've got a pretty good chance of victory here, but I've definitely seen plenty of races where I'm the predicted winner turn out to fail. And that's where the RNG comes in on these, because if you fail any one of these 5 races or the finals, it pretty much scraps your entire run, and you have very little control over it, aside from the basics of making sure that you're actually training up your characters. Alright, see, I got 2 draws already, and I need 3 wins to win, and those were the races I was good at, so I failed this, and even if the rest of the bad stuff hadn't happened on this run would be basically garbage for me now. There's especially on the very first one, there's very little recovering from this, because you will be so behind for the entire rest of the run on the overall team stats that you will be super far behind on your training. Oh, come on! Okay, yeah, that's a bonus event you get from Rico if you have her at a certain friendship level before the start of the year on the second, on the classic year. Anyway. What I was saying is, the training levels will just be... I didn't mean to click that. The training levels will just be too low for you to be able to get the stats that you need to catch back up. What? I don't care about these events right now. I just want to show the thing. Alright. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and scrap this, and we're gonna start over. Because this is just a pointless run at this point. Also, just as an aside, the original career is still available. It's just that even a really bad run with the new career, as it turns out, is going to give you so much more stats that, like, these are characters here that were not particularly good runs, using, like, the subpar version of the support cards that I had and everything, that I completed on the new career, and this was the highest ranked character I had ever created on the old career. So we've got people now who are putting out Umas that are in the, like, 14,000 plus range. And it is now fully possible to have an Uma who's, like, ranked double S. That's not the career I want. Alright, so we're going to be doing a fresh run here with Super Creek. Unfortunately, I'm hurting for good wit cards. Fine Motion is a top tier card, but it is not upgraded at all, which puts it at a bit of a disadvantage. Likewise, this is one of the better cards, but I just don't have enough copies of it, and it puts me in kind of a tough spot. Yeah, okay, I did remember to upgrade, I think? Okay, yeah. And maybe at some point I'll go through and do a run where we actually look at the story too, because it is a whole different plot that's going on. So these first couple turns, you haven't been given your team yet, and you just kind of, the first 2 or 3 turns are pretty much just running things exactly as you would in the old, career, except the amount of stats that you're getting per training are much lower than they usually would have been. And now we get some additional team members who are not part of our support cards. Oh, by the way, your support cards are always members of your team, I think, regardless of whether they're part of the, career roster or not. It's just that having them there when they're not a member of the roster means that you have an extra character in your roster. In effect. Not a lot of great options here. And that's part of why the wit training is so important. It lets you skip the turn and get some resources out of it when there's nothing better to do. I am not familiar with this support card at all. Give me just a moment. Looks like the top option gives 5 wit and 15 skill points. Bottom option, 5 speed, 5 stamina, 5 power, but costs 10 energy. So we're gonna go ahead and go with the top option so that we don't sacrifice energy. Okay, top option for this one gives 45 skill points. Bottom option If things go well, you get 3 right-handed hints, 10 energy, and 1 mood. If things go poorly, you get 1 right-handed hint and minus 20 energy. I think I'm gonna stick with the top option on this one. So this one would give me more unity training. But if I do this stamina one, it'll be cheaper from the discount from Rico. It'll get me friendship with Rico, which I need. And it'll still get me a unity training and some friendship I need on this card. So I think I'm gonna go with that. Oh, and also every time you train with Rico, kind of like when you would train with the director in the first one, because Rico is the acting director, she gives you bonus stats. For Taizawa, I think her name is, she would give you skill points when you trained with her. And the amount would depend on how much friendship you had with her. Anywhere between 2 and 4. With Rico, she always gives you 3 stamina when you train with her. Oh, okay, this is an eating event. So the bottom one is the risk one with the slow metabolism if we get it. That's a bummer if we do, but we're gonna go for it because it's less than 50-50 odds. And we were able to accommodate gaining that much energy. Alright, I think we're gonna go for speed here, because we really need, like, ideally we should be at 200 plus speed for the make debut, but we definitely need to be at over 100 for sure. For power as well. Right now our stats are really lacking. Okay, top one is stamina to spare hint. We really don't care about that. So we're gonna stick with the bottom one, which is 20 energy and 1 mood. Wow, this is... okay. I think I go with power here, because I do need to get over 100 power. I've only got 2 turns left to do that. And I want some of the friendship that I get from this. I'm really not sure which of these 3 trainings is the best to do. This is very borderline. Let's see, it's probably this one? Because I still have a while before the Unity Cup. I really need to make sure that I'm winning the, make debut race here, though. If at all possible. Ramp Up is not that good of a skill yet, but it's going to be in 2 days, apparently. Oh no, second place! Alright, well that already puts us in a bad position again for this run. Freak might be a very difficult character to run for this, because aside from stamina, her starting stats are so low. Okay, so I've unlocked my recreation. At first glance, this looks like a pretty decent training, but then when I really look at it, it's kind of not so much. What are her skills? Aside from maybe 777s, nothing I really care about. Oh, that's another thing. When you do the Unity training, you get, like, all these random skill hints. So at some point you'll see my skills page just full of just random garbage. Some of them are useful, but because it can be basically anything, you get a lot of stuff that'll be, like, front-runner only skills when you're running a pace chaser or something. Okay, I think this will be the turn when I go ahead and attempt a maiden race.
実力は完全に上位ですね。貫禄すら感じてしまいます。芝のコースで力を十分発揮できそうですね。
You're kidding me? Alright, well we paid for this run, because we're borrowing a support card, so we're not just gonna scrap this one like we did the last one, but this puts us in a really, really bad place. The team name dictates what bonus gold skill you get out of your run if you successfully defeat the enemy's top team in the Unity Cup. One of the many reasons why succeeding at the Unity Cup is so important. Alright, let's try and race for the third time. Finally. Okay, the bottom one apparently gives corner recovery, which she already has built in. And the top one gives 10 guts, 15 skill points. So I think the top one is more worth it. Okay, that's a lot of Unity training. Unfortunately, I do not have the energy to go through with it. Annoyingly, the blue balls tend to end up on guts. I don't think that's a real mechanic, I think it's just my luck. This is so rough because I'm used to coming into first place consistently in all these races. Okay, so like, you don't want to have to choose the first one, or the middle one on your first race, but I think I'm going to have to, probably, because I'm probably not going to stand much of a chance against this team. I mean, alright, we'll try it. This run's already pretty scuffed, so... Okay, success! There was at least one streamer talking about how they have, like, PTSD from Unity Cup on previous, like, on other servers. Places where the content's already been out for a while. Oh, come on! What does migraine do again? And gain improvements in mood. Alright, I'm gonna have to cure that, but I don't have to do it yet. Which is good, because I'm at max energy at the moment. I don't want to be doing things that give me energy. I might actually do this guts training just because of all the Unity trainings on it. And because I'm at max energy already. Okay, good. At least we cured it on the first try. Oh, come on! Oh wait, that's a guaranteed part of her career. I forgot about that. Oh man. Oh, Creek is gonna be nearly impossible to train. I might have to find a different character. least long corners is a useful skill for me. And that was supposed to be a gold skill, but it wasn't, which means I failed the check on it.
Hey, Yuki sent you a message on Discord.
Okay, I'll take a look, Agent.
注目を集める素晴らしい仕上がりですね。見事勝利してダービーウマ娘の夢を掴んでほしいですね。
Basically, not feeling good, we'll have to cancel stream.
Alright, thanks for letting me know. I will rearrange my day accordingly. I hope you feel better. I just cannot win with Super Creek.
That's all for this episode. If you enjoyed, please like, comment, subscribe, or join me on Twitch or Twitter. Hope to see you next time on Yukikaze Gaming. Bye.